Good evening from London. The Bank of England has raised interest rates for the fifth time in a row to 1.25%. There had been speculation of a more aggressive tightening after the sharpest rate hike since 1994 was imposed by the US Federal Reserve yesterday evening. Inflation has reached a 40-year high in Britain, and the cost of living crisis has intensified as energy, food and fuel bills are rising sharply. British passengers have been urged to not use trains next week as the rail network is bracing for its biggest industrial action in modern history. Next week, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, more than 40,000 workers will walk out across the country due to a long-running dispute over pay and working conditions. The Transport Secretary has said the strikes are entirely pointless and counterproductive because the pay freeze for rail staff was coming to an end. There are warnings that disruptions at the UK's key travel hubs could get worse before it gets better this summer, as unions point to staff shortages across the industry. The UK's Transport Ministry insists that the sector is responsible for making sure they have enough staff to meet demand, but critics say the government must do more to address the issue. Earlier, I spoke with aviation consultant John Strickland for his assessment on the ongoing turmoil.
The industry is certainly having a challenging time in ramping up towards full capacity. Demand came back very quickly in the last few months of the European summer season, which of course is time for peak travel. And that was set against a background when governments, and particularly the UK government, made decisions to end restrictions pretty late. We're talking about February, March time this year. In terms of airline planning, that is very late in terms of getting the right manpower levels for the summer, even aside from other complexities such as staff sickness and questions of pay rates and jobs available in other sectors. So as the industry's tried to meet this demand, of course, we've seen a lot of problems in terms of flight delays and cancellations. And many airlines are now recognising the only way to resolve this in the short term is to proactively cancel a number of flights in advance. That is far better than leaving it to chance on the day when perhaps a crew member, for example, may go sick at the last minute, or a flight gets delayed for some reason and ends up having to be cancelled and customers are massively inconvenienced. Better to grasp the nettle and cancel those flights early. Now, there is a financial cost, of course, to doing that. The peak summer should be when airlines are making money, and indeed they need to recover the losses of the last 2 years. But if those flights cannot be realistically operated, then the pain has got to be taken now while the industry tries to get itself stable and back up to full capacity.
Those are your main stories from London at close of business.